Chaser Report is recorded on Gadigal land.
Striving for mediocrity in a world of excellence. This is the Chaser Report.
Hello and welcome to the Chaser Report. I'm Dom Knight and we keep alternating who goes first, Charles Firth. It's me today. How exciting.
Yes, very exciting.
I know you were thinking of running for the New South Wales state election. I've got an amazing opportunity for you.
Oh, yes.
And also there's a new way to play the pokies where you're guaranteed to lose.
Ooh,
Yep.
but isn't that always?
No,
Oh,
100% guaranteed.
oh wow.
Yeah, not even the slightest chance of winning. You've got to hand it to Aristocrat. They're brilliant people. That's some of the news we'll talk about in today's episode. Let's start with this amazing opportunity for you, Charles. The Liberal Party in New South Wales
Oh, yes.
has, as of the time of recording,
Yes.
yet to pre-select about 20 seats
What?
for the state election. Yeah,
But
it's in less than a month.
That is exactly the sort of thing that I would do, which is I'd go, yeah, I know I've got to pre-select a whole lot of people for seats, but I'll get around to that. You'd just be on the top of my notes, Apple
Yeah,
Notes
to be in the Notes app.
as list of things to do.
Yeah, I'd
Pre-select
set myself a reminder that
Yeah.
I then ignored.
Yeah.
Select 20 or so local candidates to try and win some seats.
So is Dominic Perrottet sort of slightly disorganised, is he?
It's possible. I mean, it might be that maybe all of his brothers were supposed to run in those seats and they've just all gone missing. I don't know if people are following this story. If you're not from New South Wales, it's quite bizarre. There's an inquiry into irregularities at the Hillshire Council. Charles, we wouldn't want to suggest at all that there were definitely problems and that there'd been a fighting fund to try and unseat Alex Hawke from his seat. We wouldn't suggest that at all. That's for the inquiry to suggest once they get the evidence.
Yes, but what has happened is that at least one of Dominic Perrottet's brothers, perhaps two.
Two.
This is the premier, right, of the state.
Yeah, the Premier of New South Wales has two brothers who
are
the Parliament that he supposedly leads are trying to speak to and who they can't find.
Well, they're on the run, aren't they? Isn't there a sort of hunt for them?
Well, one of them's in Victoria, and apparently it's far beyond the all-powerful New South Wales Parliament to talk to anyone who's in Victoria. So if you get over state lines, you're safe. Which makes me think, have they tried looking for the other one across state lines? So there's Charles. I think Charles is the one in Victoria.
Right.
And there's a Jean-Claude. Perrottet is, I don't know, not complying with the subpoena. I don't know what's going on.
He's on the lam.
On the lam.
Yeah.
They've apparently spent thousands of dollars trying to track these guys down. Have they thought of getting the Premier to call them?
You know what I reckon they should do? I reckon they should use the Find My iPhone app.
Yeah.
Because presumably, like, Dom would be on a family plan.
You'd think so.
If
Can you imagine how much they'd save on a family plan, the Perrottets?
If you've got 20 brothers and sisters, you would go on a family plan.
Find my brother.
Find my brother. And then you can, because I once had to search for an enemy of mine.
Oh.
And this is in the days before you sort of were worried about your privacy. And I could see him. I could see where he went on my iPhone.
Oh.
Like I could just track him on my iPhone the whole time. It was great.
Don't cross Charles.
I
Can you find the Perrottets?
I served subpoenas on him. Well, actually, I got a private investigator to serve subpoenas on this guy using my iPhone tracking app.
So, look, if you're listening, that person, Charles is definitely not surveilling you now, are you, Charles? No, not a chance. Definitely not, because that would be illegal.
My therapist said it was bad for my mental health to continue tracking this guy.
Yes, and possibly illegal then and now. Nevertheless, the Perrottet, it is quite bizarre.
Well, but it doesn't matter if it's illegal, Dom, because nothing will happen.
Yeah.
Because we're in the state of New South Wales, and you can just, like if you're in trouble with the law, you just don't turn up.
Just don't turn up.
And then nothing happens.
I mean, look, to give their perspective, Perrottet said that they're targeting his family, the Labor and the Greens through this parliament.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be fair, it's hard not to. He's got so many people in his family. Yes. You can just sort of throw a dart into a dartboard, you'll hit a Perrottet somewhere. And they've called it a sideshow.
Isn't that the job of anti-corruption commissions, to target politicians? Like, wouldn't it be strange if they weren't investigating irregularities?
Can you imagine, not that I'm suggesting it's the same situation, can you imagine if Eddie Abid had been able to say, you can't target my kids?
Yeah, you're targeting
the ones to whom I'm
family.
funneling all this money. Yeah. That's right. So look, we'll see if they can track them down before the election, but I suspect they won't.
Do you think it's a master strategy by Perrottet to sort of act as a distraction in the lead up to the election? Like, everyone's sort of going, oh, actually, this is bad for Perrottet because it looks like he's got a whole lot of brothers on the run. But actually, because everyone's so focused on the sort of whodunit nature of it, it's sort of almost like a true crime podcast, or is it a car chase type
there's so many brothers that who did it would be very difficult to establish.
It's actually genuinely entertaining, and you don't want the Perrottets to go away. You don't want Dominic Perrottet to be unelected because then
then
it might
you
end.
know who did it.
Yeah, exactly. And that is borne out by the latest news poll, which has shown that Perrottet has halved Labor's lead.
Yes, the polls are tightening in New South Wales.
Yes, because
admittedly they keep polling members of the Perrottet family. It's hard not to. There's a lot of them. But, I mean, this is the problem, Charles, is that we get close to the election.
Yes.
This is what happens in every state. So if you're sick of us talking about New South Wales, this applies to you too.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit about state politics for, in this case, 3 years and 11 months.
Yes.
Then we're kind of going, okay, our kids' schools kind of depend on this.
Yes.
And they're going, who's the Labor leader? And for the average New South Wales resident, they would have no clue that it's someone called Chris Minns.
What?
Yeah.
Chris Minns?
His name actually means minimums. Like that's how unambitious they're being. They've elected this. And so, well, it's okay. Maybe people don't like the existing government.
Yeah.
But who's Chris Minns? Who's his front bench? What's he going to do? No one has a clue. And particularly when the most prominent...
that is completely untrue. He's going to abolish road tolls. That's the only thing I've heard from him, and it's the thing that sticks. I have no idea how he's going to do it. I suspect
he was capping it at $60 a week or something.
Oh, is he capping it?
That's a lot of money.
$60 a week.
Yeah. If you're paying more than $60 a week, you should probably get a free house.
That's $60 a week is about the cost of going on the M2 once.
Yeah, once.
I think,
or maybe he is going to do that. But Charles, the most prominent left-wing politician in the state is Matt Keane, the treasurer. You know, where's the space for Chris Minns? What's he gotten out there? So I don't know what's going to happen in the election in New South Wales. But the one thing, Charles, I know is that they need more Liberal candidates.
Yes.
The other thing I know... And
So are you saying maybe I should apply?
Yeah.
Yes.
Rather than running on the anti-Mark Latham party, as we've discussed before,
yes,
you could be the anti-Mark Latham Liberal candidate.
Yes.
And here's the thing that's going to twist your arm. Okay. And this is published in the Daily Telegraph this past weekend.
Yes.
So it's on good authority, the best authority in terms of Liberal sources.
Yes, exactly. Well, basically, the people
an
that
arm
run
of
it. It runs the Liberal Party.
One of the candidates, there's a video doing the rounds of this person snorting coke at a campaign event. So apparently, not so much tough on crime as enjoying the proceeds. I'm not sure. I don't know who it is. I don't know the circumstances. But what I do know, Charles, is that if you sign up to the Liberal Party, there's someone in there who's well connected. That seems to be the case.
Yeah, right. Well, you'd have to find out what the quality was like.
Right. Okay.
You don't want to have bad
Are you kidding
quality.
me?
Yeah.
It's a Liberal candidate.
Yeah. Be blue ribbon quality.
It'd be blue ribbon. And my theory on this is you've got to stick with the locals. I don't know what seat it's in, right?
Yeah.
But if you're running in, say, Western Sydney, let's say Harris Park, you go and have Indian food. If you're running in Bondi, you've got to go to the finest Coke dealer in the region and try the local product.
Do you think it maybe is an attempt by that candidate to appeal to the teal vote? I think it is, because I think every single person who voted teal probably does coke on the weekend.
They've got a budget.
They've got a budget. Yeah.
They're well heeled.
Yeah,
they're well heeled teals.
You don't know whether the seat that we're currently in, Balmain, does that have a vacancy for the Libs? Because if it does,
I can't imagine they've bothered to pre-select. This is a seat that's contested between Labor and the Greens.
See, but what I want to do is I would love to run for this seat, because my sister used to actually be the local member.
She did, didn't she?
And I want to run on the platform just Firth, the name you can trust.
You should. You should run as an independent. There's someone called Freya Leach who's running in Balmain.
Right.
This gives you a sense of the level of confidence they have in winning the seat. She's currently studying a Bachelor of Commerce and a Bachelor of Laws at Sydney University. So she's, I don't know, what would you say, 20?
She's the one who, remember, she's the law student who claimed that she was being discriminated against because the essay was about her. Remember that there was a sort of deeply insulting
the
law exam.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was sort of like, an upper class twit, crashed her car or something.
Yes, and they used the name Freya.
And then she went, "Oh, that must be me," right? And the exam giver said, "No, it's nothing to do with you. I have no idea who you are." But I think they ended up cancelling that whole exam.
I'm fact checking that because
fucking Freya.
This person sounds like they sue.
Yeah.
And yes, the question was.
Okay, yeah.
This is the exam scenario. Okay. A left-wing individual, Adam, gets into an argument with a right-wing individual, Daniel, over the fact that Daniel doesn't recycle. Adam then starts to move away from Daniel, but is hit by Daniel's friend, a character named Freya. It says here, a sporty-looking Mercedes car is approaching rapidly from the right. By a total coincidence, the car is driven by Daniel's friend, Freya. So Freya kills the other candidate and then gets a text message from her friend, which says, "Great job, one less illiberal liberal." Then they have sex, Daniel and Freya gives Daniel, who has a fiancé, HIV. So I don't know. Like Freya's complaint was, my character was portrayed as a murderous person who had unprotected sex with someone, gave them HIV, and was then chucked off a building to my death. I'm just thinking I'm going to vote for this woman. She sounds amazing. Also, if you cross her, you could be in real trouble. I hope that's not defamatory, Freya.
The Chaser Report.
Now with extra whispers.
Nevertheless, so that's your sister's old seat.
Yes.
You're going to run as independent.
I'll run as an independent. The idea is vote for Firth,
the name you can trust.
Yeah. And I did actually suggest this to Verity the other day, and she went, "No, you will not, Charles." So
which means it's a good idea, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Although that said, Charles, I don't want to raise any awkward historical moments from your family, but wouldn't it be vote for Firth, the name you can trust, and yet voted against in 2 recent elections? It's not.
That's a bit mean.
It's not a guarantee of victory, though, is it? Your name in the seat of Balmain?
Oh God, no. But I think it would be very funny.
It would be It would be trolling your sister and your sister only.
Yeah.
Which means it's probably a good idea.
Yeah, it's totally worth it. Yeah.
I still like the Anti-Latham ticket, though. That seems fun.
I kind of feel like, because I'm going to be out of the state for pretty much the whole of March.
But isn't that a good idea?
Oh, Well, I can join Charles Perrottet down in Victoria.
If you go down and find the missing Perrottet brother, I think you'll be a hero.
I can be on the lam. Maybe that's
you should
the
go
way.
and track him down.
Yes. It could be like, remember Andrew Denton did the chase for skates?
Yes, a bounty. You could be a bounty hunter.
I could be a bounty hunter. Have they put a bounty on the Perrottet brothers' head?
I don't know. But they've apparently spent thousands of dollars, I read this in the newspaper, on actually trying to track them down.
Right. Okay.
Even though they're the Premier's literal brothers.
Yeah, so why, you posed the question before, why doesn't he just call them?
Well, that would be admitting that this wasn't just a beat up by Labor and the Greens trying to discredit the good Perrottet name.
But doesn't he want them to testify in front of ICAC so that they can clear the good Perrottet name?
It's a parliamentary inquiry, though. It's not ICAC.
Oh, it's not ICAC.
Word ICAC, I think ICAC might have more teeth. At the moment,
right.
it's just the Labor and the Greens chasing down some evidence. But
yeah, right.
Watch this space, because there's one thing we know about many New South Wales premiers past, and not wanting to reflect on Dominic Perrottet in any way, but there is a statistically high chance of ICAC ending their careers based on past form, not present company, except that his brothers are both nowhere to be found. So
I just love New South Wales politics.
So what's more awkward, you running in Verity's old seat, or 2 Perrottet brothers not fronting up to a parliamentary inquiry?
Perrottet is just fantastic.
Why don't you run as Charles Perrottet? You could be the other Charles.
It could be, I'd have to change my name. I don't want to, like, New South Wales politics, maybe if it was federal, but state politics, I mean, what do you get? You don't even get a pension.
I mean, if you wanted to go into that game, you have to be your sister.
Yeah, exactly. Ugh.
While we're talking about New South Wales, one of the big issues in the state, of course, is gambling. It's, the cashless gaming card. What's going to happen? Chris Minns has singularly failed to match the government's promise of introducing cashless gaming cards if re-elected. He's going to have an inquiry. But, Charles, there's a third way. There is a way that you can absolutely guarantee a loss. And possibly we should put this in our new spin-off podcast, Welcome to the Future. Apparently, Australians blow millions of dollars every year playing aristocrat pokies on their iPhones. But Apple don't allow gambling, you probably recall.
Yes.
The beauty of these apps is that they're the same as the pokies you play in the pub, except there is no way to win. People are buying like coins or whatever they are, packages of like credits.
Yes.
And you cannot possibly win.
Right.
They're just paying. So apparently the pokies are so compelling that given a certainty of losing, people will still devote literally millions of dollars to playing them.
That's really sad, because that sort of suggests a genuine addiction, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
And also a new business model for the chaser.
Yes, that's right. We should start playing that app because if there's one thing the Chaser's very good at, it's losing money.
Why bother giving the punters a tiny chance to win?
Yes. Oh, it's so inefficient.
And they wouldn't have to give anything to the publicans. Listen to that. What a lovely sound.
That's the sound of your life savings.
Isn't the internet a
frittered away.
fantastic thing? Our gear is from Rode. We're part of the Iconoclast Podcast Network. And Gamble on the Chaser Report, new pokey app coming soon.
Oh, well, actually, I'll tell you what. Subscribing to the Chaser Report is a little bit like wasting your money.
That's
on
true.
The Aristocrat.
It's
app.
cheaper than ever to waste your money on the Chaser Report podcast. We've dropped the price of the subscription to, what is it,
$3.99
per month?
What a bargain.
Or only $39.99 a year on Apple Podcasts or on the Acast Plus. All you need to do is go to chaser.com.au/podcast and give us your money. You're not throwing it away, Charles. You're giving it to people who desperately need it and have...
Yeah.
We'll probably blow it on the pokies ourselves in a failing bid to save our company.
Or some of that cocaine that the Blue Ribbon candidate had.